What is this? This is a plant. A plant. This plant is growing in the ground. The ground. This plant is growing in the ground. This is a pot. A pot. Is this plant growing in a pot? No. This plant isn't growing in a pot. It's growing in the ground. This is a tree. A tree. Is this a tree? No. This isn't a tree, it's a plant. A plant growing in the ground. The ground. Here are two trees. One tree, two trees. Trees are bigger than plants. Plants are smaller than trees. Trees are bigger than plants. Big, small. Big, small. Here are two pots. One pot, two pots. These two pots are different. They're different. They're not the same. They're not the same. They're different. What is the difference between these two pots? What is the difference? One pot is bigger than the other pot. Which pot, which one is bigger? Is this pot bigger than the other pot? No. This is the smaller pot. This pot is smaller than this pot. This pot is bigger than this pot. Small, big. A small pot, and a big pot. Now, there are three pots. 1, 2, 3. 3 pots. Which pot is the biggest? Which pot is the biggest? This pot, the third pot, is bigger than the second pot. It's also bigger than the first pot. So, it's the biggest pot. The biggest. This pot is the biggest pot. Which pot is the smallest? Is it this one? Is this the smallest pot? This pot is smaller than this one. It's smaller than this one. but it's bigger than this one. This pot isn't the smallest pot because it's not smaller than both other pots. This pot is smaller than one of the other pots, but it's not smaller than both the other pots. So it's not the smallest pot. This is the smallest pot. This pot is smaller than this one, and it's smaller than this one. It's smaller than both of the other pots. So it's the smallest pot. Is this a tree growing in the ground? No, it's not a tree growing in the ground. Is it a tree growing in a big pot? No, it's not a tree growing in a big pot. Is it a plant growing in a small pot? No, it's not a plant growing in a small pot. This is a plant growing in the ground. All right. See you later.